On this week's episode of the State Champs Esports Show, we've got League of Legends highlights and an interview with the winners as we wrap up our annual high school tournament. Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the State Champs Esports Show, which as always is brought to you by our friends at Lawrence Tech, Army Michigan, and Hungry Howie's. This is a big week for us because we finally have our 4th annual high school League of Legends Championship. Due to the stay-at-home order, this is the first year that the finals were not played on LTU's campus. While we missed having everyone together in person, there was still plenty of exciting gameplay. Our assistant esports manager, Joel Graves, has the championship highlights between Birmingham Legacy and East Kentwood Black.
We definitely had a action-packed 4-game series, so let's get it started with Game 1. In Game 1, it was very close, 33 minutes into the game with EK Black split push team comp versus Birmingham Legacy's all-in team comp. It was a very, very close game up to this point. However, Birmingham Legacy's AD carry Mr. Nefarious gets a quadra kill on Aphelios for the game-ending play. Game number 2, similar to game 1, very close, neck and neck and kill. At the 18-minute mark, a team fight breaks out. However, Mr. Nefarious, the captain and AD carry for Birmingham Legacy, gets off a amazing clutch play, getting a triple kill dive off on EK Black, allowing them to get the mid turret and push their lead. In Game 3, with the score being 2-0 favoring Birmingham Legacy, this was definitely the do-or-die game for EK Black. EK Black gets off a beautiful team fight in the 3rd game around the Dragon Pit, with Toon World on Caston top, picking up a triple kill, cementing themselves in the early game. In game number 4, with this series count being 2-1 siding for Birmingham Legacy, East Kentwood Black still had a fighting chance to win the series. However, in game 4, it did not go that way, with Birmingham Legacy making the aggressive plays, winning the early, mid, and late game team fights, with EK Black always trailing behind them. With EK Black always being a step behind Birmingham Legacy, it was not enough for them to stop Birmingham Legacy from being the 2020 Spring League of Legends champions.
And a big congrats to Birmingham for finally coming out on top. We'll have an interview with their team captain shortly, but first, we've got to look at some great games you should be playing right now.
What's going on? My name is Kevin, and today we are going to talk about some of the great gaming deals going on right now on Steam. Steam has a summer sale every year, and some of the great games have major discounts. While that ship has sailed away, there are still plenty of deals going on every day. The best deal at the moment is for our sports viewers out there. NBA 2K20 has an 85% discount, bringing that total to $9 for the latest basketball game to date. Endless fun on the streets or in the arena, you just can't pass this deal up. Next up, this is for the ones who are taking their gaming to the next level. VR gaming is getting more affordable every day, so why not treat yourself to one of the greatest gaming franchises with Half-Life Alyx. Currently 25% off, this immense world takes place between the first 2 games in the Half-Life universe. And do you have what it takes to survive? And finally, the last game on my list has a very positive review on Steam. Trine 4, The Nightmare Prince has a great deal at 70% off, and this game is loaded with fun. Whether you play with a buddy online or split screen, be ready for hours of fun.
All right, thanks, Kevin. Now let's throw it back to Joel, who chatted with Chaz Strecker from Seaholm High School about his team's big win.
Joel Graves here with Chaz, the AD carry from Birmingham Legacy, who won our 2020 Spring League of Legends Championship Series. How you doing, Chaz?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. So this is your 4th year. How does it feel to finally, win it all, win it big?
You know, it being my last year, I'm glad that, especially with the rest of our seniors on the team, we're able to kind of pull through in the end. Our season was a little bit shaky, but we kind of found our footing and was able to carry it through to a win.
So going over to your team, like how many players were there from the beginning and are here now, seniors? Is it just yourself?
Well, we had 3 guys last year returning seniors, and that kind of set the foundation for us to be, I guess, so close, and we're able to communicate so well because of our experience. That made it a lot easier to kind of respect each other and, you know, follow calls and get early leads.
So let's go a little bit in detail into the game. So game 1, what were your thoughts, your strategy going into this game? You guys were going up against the top seed from Division 1. They were looking pretty unstoppable, but what were your thoughts?
I felt that their main strengths were their solo laners, and I felt that if we could try and play through bot lane, we would have an easier way to carry a lead, especially because a lot of their solo laners played late game scaling champions. I felt that as long as we held a lead early and just kind of snowballed that, we'd be able to close out games before they'd be able to get to those strengths in their late game. And for the most part, I think in game 1 we were able to, you know, get the early dragons, get the early Rift Heralds, and make that gold lead to a point where we could just close the game.
Must have been very stressful making it all the way to finals. You in the beginning of the playoff series, you guys dropped down to the losers bracket, but you didn't drop a single game until I think the semifinals. You guys were really showing up. I know that some of the predictions on the side of state champs, we were talking about maybe you guys not making it this far, but we were all impressed that you guys are a team that's been here for 4 years, made it this far, and finally like pulled out all the stops and finally won. I always had faith. So it was really great to see that one of our returning teams making it and winning.
Yeah, especially I think we did switch up some things in, like, middle of the tournament, and that really I think it shows how much that made an impact in our kind of style of gameplay. And, you know, honestly wouldn't be here without all 5 of us coming together and pulling it through and believing in, you know, not only the team but, you know, the tournament as well.
All right, Chaz, so this is your 4th year. You are a senior. Do you feel that you've successfully laid the foundation to continue your legacy and the legacy of your team in future years for incoming freshmen and other students at your school?
I think we've definitely kind of stamped our foot in the ground with this last year, you know, always being close to semifinals and now actually making it and winning it all. We always have that prestige around us we need to uphold, and now that we've kind of reached that top, the only thing we can do now is stay there.
Come back next year and continue to be champions. So one last thing about your team. So I know you're graduating, but how many other of your players are graduating?
We're gonna be leaving with our mid laner Enrique Bruza and our support Jerry Zhao. Both of them, you know, really solid players, you know, especially with I was able to kind of really get to know the two over the course of the years playing with them. It's sad to see them go, especially with Jerry going back to China, but, you know, I'm sure wherever they go, they success will find their way with them.
All right, well, thank you, Chaz, for this interview, and congrats to your 3-1 success winning the championship series. It's always a joy to have one of the players come out and talk to us. Well, that wraps it up here, and for those watching, I'll see you guys next time.
Thank you, Joel, for the interview and for everything you did to help our tournament director, Andrew Blanchard, make this year's competition a success. And now we're gearing up for the return of our Rocket League tournament this fall. So get your teams together because registration starts soon. That's it for this week. We hope you enjoyed watching the State Champs Esports show as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. Before we go, everyone at State Champs also wants to thank Lawrence Tech, Army Michigan, and Hungry Howie's for their continued support of our programs and content. I'll see you next time.